Welcome back once again to Drummer Daily. My name's Daniel, and I'm happy you have joined me for part of your day, wherever you're at. I'm happy to be joining you as well. So today's question, I've got another one of your questions today to read, and this one comes in from Roderick. I don't know I never know how to say that word. But he says, my biggest question about becoming a pro drummer is, how exactly do I get on a pro tour? Right now, I'm in 4 bands in my hometown, but I'm not making much money from them. So should I leave them to join a pro tour? Really don't want to, but I want to get paid. And that's an excellent question, Roderick. Thank you for writing in. Incidentally, if you have a question about becoming a pro drummer or becoming a better drummer or whatever else, anything you want me to talk about, even if you don't have a question, if you just have an idea for a topic that you'd like for me to cover on the podcast, you can send me an email at daniel@danielhadaway.com and let me know, and I will do my best to answer it on the show. So thank you, Roderick, for writing in. So a couple of things that I would say if you want to get on a pro tour, and I want to walk backwards through this process. So this is something, I've talked about, I've taught, I teach this a lot, but I like to start with the end goal in mind and then step my way backwards from that end goal towards where I'm at right now. And so you mentioned the way that you phrased this question, it makes me feel like you possibly have had some opportunities to go on a pro tour. So if that's true, that makes the question a little easier to answer. But if not, if you haven't been presented with an opportunity already to travel on a pro level tour, then I would not make that decision. You don't need to make that decision. You don't need to make the decision to take an opportunity that you do not have. That's not being negative. I just want to make sure that we're looking realistic at the situation. So the question is basically, have you had opportunities that you've had to turn down for whatever reason? And if so, if you've had to turn down an opportunity to go on a pro tour, why was that? And how can you eliminate those reasons if there's something that you can change, or what needs to change about that situation in order for those reasons to go away that you might say no? If you have not been presented with the opportunity, then you need to look at what can you change in order to give yourself an opportunity. And that kind of leads me backwards through your question about being in 4 bands but not making much money from them. And you said, should I leave them to join a pro tour? Well, it sounds like, because you're asking the question, that if you are given the opportunity to join a pro tour, you probably already have decided that you want to leave them to join that tour. Now, I don't have all the context, or the question is short, so I don't know if you're really serious with all 4 of these bands, or if you're more serious with one than you are with the others. But if the problem is just that you're not making much money from them right now, then you look at that. What can I change about that situation to make more money from these bands? If you're a member of these bands, meaning you are a part of the band, they're not just hiring you to join. It's not just their band that you're joining in to play drums for. It's actually you're a member of the band. Then you can't really just say to them, and I don't think you mean this, you would never do this, but you can't just say to them, hey, I need to make more money from you guys. You guys need to start paying me more money, or you need to start paying me at all. That's probably not going to work. You could take a little bit more of that approach if you're just a hired gun coming in. You say, hey guys, I need to make more money because I gotta, this takes a lot of time and I can't do other things if I'm having to play all these shows and not making much money. But keep in mind, and I think we talked about this in a recent episode of the podcast, it is really, really hard, and this goes for pretty much anything in the world in business. It is really hard to make someone start paying for something that they are used to getting for free. And so if all these bands are used to having you drum for them for free, you are going to be fighting an uphill battle in all of a sudden saying, hey, I'm going to keep doing the exact same thing that I was doing for you before, aka drumming, your shows and your practices, but now I want you to start paying me for it. That's a tough battle to win. So the question is, are there any bands, any of those 4 bands that maybe you could, if you are a member of the band, you might have to ask the question, hey guys, how can we all start getting paid more? And that's something a little bit outside of what I'm an expert in as far as the dynamics of a band and making money. I was in a bunch of bands. I was a member of a bunch of bands, just out of high school and even in high school and early college years. And, we never made any money. Not because there weren't other bands who were making money, but just because we never figured it out. So I definitely am no expert in making money as a band. But that might be a question you want to look at answering is, how can we all make more money as a band? And the last thing I want to just challenge you on, this is a good question just for everybody. And I'm looking ahead, I think maybe in tomorrow's episode, we'll talk about this a little bit more, but make sure that you actually are good enough and prepared for a pro tour, to join a pro tour. If there was someone who was looking to give you an opportunity, are you ready for it? Can you play well enough? Do you have the physical ability to play however long the show is? Do you have the mental capacity night after night to play that way? Do you get along with others well and collaborate well? Things like that are important, and you got to make sure that you're ready before you get the opportunity. You don't wait till you get the opportunity to be ready for it. You get ready before that opportunity comes along. So thank you again, Roderick, for writing in and asking that question. That was a wonderful question, unique situation. And I'm sorry I couldn't go into more detail, but I went off the detail that I could get from reading your email. Sometimes I have to kind of extend out, stretch out, pick out, tease out the details in my own mind to kind of hopefully give you some specific info. But whoever you are and wherever you are, thank you for listening. I'm so glad you could join me. And I believe tomorrow's podcast, I'll also have a chance to finally give you information on my drumming intensive. I'll either do it tomorrow, or I do have a question from a listener for tomorrow, so I might delay announcing it till maybe the next day's podcast, just to make sure that I get things in my schedule all set out right. So anyway, thank you for joining me, and we'll talk again really soon. Bye for now.